Welcome back to reality.exe. Here we talk about the weird stuff most people pretend doesn't happen. Time jumps, parallel universe moments, glitches in the Matrix. All of it. If something strange has ever happened to you, send me your story at reality.exe.pj@gmail.com. I'd love to hear it. Story 1. The Man at My Door and the Second One. By Anonymous. Last year I moved into a small apartment while job hunting. One morning, someone knocked on my door around 6:40 a.m. It was a man in a yellow delivery vest holding a package. Before I could even say hello, he asked, "Are you, Michelle?" I told him no, wrong apartment. He apologized, then walked off down the stairs. Nothing weird. But exactly 2 minutes later, someone knocked again. Same pattern of knocks, same rhythm, same timing. When I opened the door, it was the same man. At least it should have been. Except this version wasn't holding a package. He looked lost. He asked the same question. "Are you Michelle?" I froze. I told him again, no. He frowned like he didn't understand. Then he asked me, "Has anyone else been here?" I said yes. "You were here just now." He said quietly, "No, I just got to this floor." Then he turned and left. When I checked the hallway camera later, the feed only showed one visit, only one knock, only one man. But I know I opened that door twice. Story 2. The Unsent Text. By Seed. 3 years ago, I was arguing with my younger sister through text. It was one of those heated back and forths where the typing bubbles never stop popping up. In the middle of the argument, I wrote a long message, a very emotional one. Something like, "I don't want us to keep fighting. I love you, but just give me some time." I stared at it for a long time, then deleted it. I never sent it. 2 hours later, she came to my apartment. She looked confused and said, "You okay? That text you sent, I didn't think you'd ever say something like that." I asked, "What text?" She pulled out her phone and showed me the exact message, word for word, the one I deleted. Timestamp, 3:14 p.m. On my phone, no record, no draft, nothing in deleted messages. We tried everything, restarting phones, checking linked devices, even calling the carrier. There was no digital trace on my side that I ever typed it, but she received it, and it changed our relationship that day. Sometimes I think maybe a version of me sent it. Story 3. The Dog That Wasn't There. By Jay. I take the same evening walk every day after work. Same route, I listen my podcast. Same routine. One night, I passed an older man with a big brown dog. The dog looked like a Labrador mix, tail wagging, tongue out, very friendly. We made eye contact, and I said, "Pretty dog." He smiled and said, "Thanks." The next night, I saw him again. Same time, same sidewalk, but this time he was walking alone. I didn't want to sound weird, so I just said, "Your dog not with you today?" He looked genuinely confused. "What dog?" I smiled and said, "Yesterday. The brown dog you were walking." He shook his head firmly. "Ma'am, I haven't owned a dog in 10 years. I thought maybe I mixed people up, until he added, I did have a brown lab when my wife was alive. Died the same year she did. Then he stared at me like I wasn't supposed to know that. I don't bring it up anymore. But sometimes when I walk that street, I still hear a dog's collar jingling behind me, even when no one's there. Story 4. The photo with two versions of me. By Daniel. I'm a photographer, very normal guy, very technical, and I certainly am not into this superstitious shit. But last winter, I took some nature shots at a park. It was early morning, fog everywhere, perfect lighting. In one of the photos, a wide shot, I noticed a person standing on the far left of the frame. Dark jacket, hood up, looked just like me from behind. I thought, oh, someone walked into the frame without me noticing. But two problems. The figure was standing in the exact spot where I had placed my tripod 20 minutes earlier. When I zoomed in, the camera bag on his shoulder was my camera bag. The same color, same torn strap, same scratch near the zipper. I checked the timestamps. There were no duplicates, no second shooter, no reflective surfaces, and I was alone. I know I was alone. Everyone I show the image to says the same thing. That's you. I keep the photo backed up in 3 different places, because some part of me believes that one day, the version of me in the picture might want it back. Story 5. The child that knew my name. By TM. This happened 2 months ago at a supermarket. I was in the cereal aisle when a little boy, maybe 4 years old, walked past me holding his mom's hand. As he passed, he looked right at me and said, "Hi, Miss Tara." I froze. That's my name, but I had never seen him before. The mom glanced at me awkwardly and apologized. "Sorry, he does that sometimes." But the boy tugged her arm and insisted, "No, that's her. That's Miss Tara. That's the one who helped me." The mom went pale. She whispered, He's been saying that for months. About someone named Tara." I asked, "Helped you how?" The boy smiled like it was a secret and said, "You helped me when it was dark, when I couldn't wake up." The mom shook her head and said, "He has nightmares. Don't mind him." But the boy wasn't done. He whispered to me, "Thank you for finding me." I didn't know what to say. I don't work with kids. I don't know him. I've never seen him in my life. But the way he looked at me, I felt like somewhere, in some version of my life, I had met him. And I had helped him. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching reality.exe. If you've experienced anything strange, send your story to reality.exe.pj@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode.